Yo, what's up? Let's get it.
Now,
Chips file away.
nowadays, almost everyone has Amazon Alexa in their house. We used to have it too. I say used to because I convinced my parents to get rid of it. They thought I was overreacting, but after what happened, I couldn't bear to stay another second with that thing in our home. This story takes place 3 months ago. It was just another Thursday. I came home from school and started playing video games. Around 7 p.m., I got a text from my dad. Hey, Mom and I are running late. Don't forget to do your homework. I'll check.
So like, I actually do have Alexa on like my tablet. Oh my god, you saw that, right? That's actually kind of scary. Isn't my Alexa off? Well, this is actually kind of scary. I'm just gonna go with the video.
Check it as soon as I get home. I knew he wasn't kidding, so I decided to get to it right away. Well, maybe after I made myself a sandwich and checking the feed on my phone. Next thing I knew, it was 9 p.m. I finally sat at my desk, determined to get my homework done. I started with biology, as it was the hardest one for me. I had just begun the reading and was already lost in a dozen unknown words. I knew that if I took my phone to Google them, I'd get sunk into my social networks again. So, instead, I decided to wake up Alexa to help me. The speaker was standing right on my bedside table, so I knew it could hear me. Alexa, I said, what is photosynthesis? A familiar electronic voice answered.
Photosynthesis is a process used by plants and other organisms to convert light energy into chemical energy that can later be released to fuel the organism's activities.
I didn't understand what it meant back then, and to be completely honest, I'm not sure I understand it properly even now.
So what you're telling me is that you're cheating? Well, who cares, I guess. Cheating comes with good, reasons.
How the hell am I supposed to get it? I mumbled to myself.
Hell is an afterlife location.
No, Alexa, stop, I ordered. I kept on reading, or at least tried to, when Alexa started off again.
A place of torment and punishment. Hell is often depicted as fiery,
What the heck? No, that's some scary stuff. Oh, wow.
painful, and harsh, inflicting suffering on the guilty.
Alexa, mute.
Wait, what? Okay, guys. I'm just gonna turn off my Alexa quickly. This is actually kind of scary. Wow.
Alexa, stop talking.
I just turned it off. Oh my god, that was scary.
But the lights in my room turned off. By that moment, I was more creeped out than I was ready to admit. Alexa, turn on the lights. The lights went back on, but as soon as I looked at my textbook, they were off again. Alexa, turn on the lights. My voice was shaking at this point. It gave me no response, even though the blue circle was lit as an indication it could hear me. Alexa, turn on the lights, I repeated, trying to sound
Smash that thing to glittering, my guy.
confident. It started laughing, loudly and viciously. I remember trying to calm down, convincing myself that it was just a malfunction. Alexa, what are you laughing at? I expected this question would make it stop or maybe even turn Alexa off, but instead, it gave me a one-syllable answer that still gives me the creeps.
You.
Alexa started
What?
laughing again, and even though I tried to rationalize what was happening, I couldn't stop shaking. Alexa, shut up, I cried, and turn on the lights, you stupid machine. It finally obeyed.
That's where you're messing up. I would have smashed that thing to obliterations and ran out of the house. Like, dang.
I waited for a few seconds to see if Alexa would mess with me again. Everything seemed fine. I sighed with relief. Thanks, Alexa. I got back to my studies. thinking that everything that just happened was just a weird malfunction. But part of me was still freaking out. I couldn't focus on my homework. I kept looking at Alexa every 5 seconds, expecting it to go crazy again. I needed to make sure everything was under control, which is why I did something I would seriously regret later. I cleared my throat and said, "Alexa, play me some music." Alexa started playing some classical music. It was elegant and slow, with
Ew, that's doo-doo music. That's what it's called.
violins that sounded
Doo-doo.
almost like crying. In a way, it was kind of beautiful, but that wasn't what I wanted to listen to at the moment. "Alexa, play The Weeknd."
Just kidding, by the way. I don't really care what music it is. I just prefer not to listen to that type of music.
I commanded. It didn't react. "Alexa, play The Weeknd," I said a little louder. The music was slowly changing. From classical harmony, it was slowly drifting to a chaotic cacophony of sounds. Crying violins were going off pitch. Rhythm
Oh no.
was shifting out of step, and melody lines overlapped each other. As both my parents are musicians, I'm pretty educated in musical history. However, I swear I'd never heard anything like that before. In a way, it distantly reminded me of Alfred Schnittke, but it was way more sinister and disharmonic. "Alexa, turn this off. Play The Weeknd." All of this was getting on my last nerve. The horrific violins continued. "Alexa, do you hear me?" As if responding to my question, the lights went off again, and the music became louder. I stood up and approached Alexa. "Alexa, stop this now." Nothing changed. I was at the edge of panic. "Alexa, if you don't stop this right now, I will frickin' smash you." It stopped the music only to say something that sounded quite vicious under the circumstances.
You wouldn't dare.
I couldn't believe my ears. All the weird behavior could be explained by
I would too. I would too. I would smash that to a week ago.
malfunctions of a complicated gadget. But this? It sounded so consciously evil and self-confident, unlike any of Alexa's previous answers and program lines. I could hear blood pumping in my brain. I was scared and pissed off at the same time. "Yes, I will," I almost yelled, overwhelmed by fear and anger.
Do it already. And smash it to the ground and just run, my God.
"You're just a machine and I'm your owner. So if you don't follow my orders, I will smash you." Alexa started laughing. "Alexa, stop laughing and do what I say." I gave it another try.
I don't follow your orders.
Was the reply. "Oh yeah?
Shut your mouth, Alexa.
Then who?"
You do, Alexa.
I will call him for you, if you want.
Alexa started whistling, as if actually sending a coded message to someone. "Wait, Alexa, stop." It kept whistling for a while, and then it stopped.
Now we wait.
Alexa's electronic voice summarized.
Okay, though, that's just scary.
"For what?" I forced myself to speak. "For whom?" No reply. "Alexa, what have you done?" I'd never been that scared in my entire life. I rushed downstairs and locked both the front and the back doors with all the locks and chains they had. I went to the kitchen and grabbed the biggest knife I could find. It calmed me down a bit. I even remembered thinking to myself that maybe I was overreacting, and all of this.
I still don't get how the people who actually aren't messing up die, but these people always survive. It's always the dumb ones, I tell you.
Had a rational explanation. I decided to go back to my room and try to reset Alexa or something. But as I was walking upstairs, I heard someone stepping on our front porch. My heart jumped. I turned around only a second before that someone started pounding on the door. Terrified, I dropped the knife and rushed upstairs to my room. I slammed the door and leaned on it. Before I could think of anything, Alexa woke up again. The lighting circle went red as it started playing some children's song.
Oh, what? Wait, what?
Stairs continued
I have a feeling that that's gonna get copyright, so I'm just gonna skip.
to break into the house. Please, hurry, I cried. Alexa kept playing the same stupid song over and over again. It felt like a never-ending nightmare. Suddenly, the music stopped, the lights went back on, and Alexa turned off. After a moment or so, before I could process what had just happened, the police arrived. I told them exactly what happened, but nobody seemed to believe me. The officers were incredibly nice. They calmed me down, checked my Alexa
Bro, you better slap that officer. They better be believing you.
thoroughly. Of course, it worked perfectly fine. One of them even stayed till my parents got home. But they all thought I was just imagining stuff. I could see it in their eyes.
Wow.
When my parents finally got home, they were shocked.
You're messing the heck up, my guy. And why does the mom's, details look so much better than everybody else's?
They knew that I'm not a technophobe or anything and had always been fine with being home alone. After the officer left, I told them everything and practically begged them to get rid of Alexa. They tried to convince me that I was being overly dramatic, but I was persistent. I knew what happened, and I never wanted to go through something like that ever again.
Well, dang, wow. Thanks for telling me that. I didn't know that you didn't want to. It's not like everybody in the world wouldn't want that, you know? You know what I'm saying? Well, bye, I guess.